I think that the number one team that did the best, got it like A plus in my book, was the Oakland Raiders. Their first pick right off the top was Khalil Mack, kind of dropping to them, outside linebacker out of Buffalo. Pretty much the top outside pass rushing prospect with a already complete, ready to plug and play game right there with the likes of Jadeveon Clowney. Really the standout of that team. Really made a showing for himself in the game against Ohio State, and it was just showed to be a disruptive force in the backfield, even at that level, against a top team like that, big name storied school like that. Could have gotten taken by the Jaguars. Some people were like surprised he fell past the Jaguars, but that being said, it was really a smart move, easy move to make for the Raiders. It was their next pick though that I thought was already a steal. They got Derek Carr with the 36th overall pick out of Fresno State. I'll say like the number 2, maybe 3 quarterback in the draft this year, right there with Aaron Murray and Johnny Manziel. That had a pro-ready game. Some people were knocking on him. The knock was that he was too much into the screen game. He couldn't throw the ball down the field, intermediate and deep consistently, but he made a great receiver out of Devontae Adams, who was taken by the Packers, and had a team that did pretty well that year. Seems very mature, and so far this year he's been playing pretty good, especially for a rookie. Been keeping his touchdown to interception ratio pretty straight, getting some wins now. No surprise for me, but to a lot of people maybe. But he was a steal. He should have been in the first round easily. I think their third pick, number 181 overall, Gabe Jackson, guard, out of Mississippi State, was a pretty great pick. They need help on the offensive line, letting Shane Valdir go, and picking up Donald Penn. They need another guard since they got their tackle somewhat figured out. He's more of a right guard guy. I don't know if they've let him see time at left guard, but definitely a big body guy, well over 6'4" or 5", 300 pounds. Oh, I think he's 6'3", well over 300 pounds. Next was the 107th overall pick at Louisiana Tech, Justin Ellis, defensive tackle. I think that they could have waited on. Nonetheless, I think there was another one that was coming from there as well. So Louisiana Tech has something going up there up front, and they decided to take him then. The following pick was Keith McGill, pick 116 out of Utah, cornerback / safety originally, but they moved him to corner. Showed him some time there due to injury. I think they put him back at safety, which is supposedly his natural position. I don't know what kind of time he's seen in Oakland, but I think he could be a good player. I do like the taller receivers. They don't got to be 6'2" or 6'3" or anything like that, like Brandon Brown or 6'4", but I like, at least 5'11", 6 foot these days with all these Megatron, Julio Jones, guys coming out the woodwork now. Their next pick was all the way 219th. It was a while, 100 picks later. They got cornerback TJ Carey, who's seen some time. I've seen pretty much for most all this season, and keeps on making good plays in special teams and defense and certain packages. It's not a bad pick there. Following TJ Carey, they had Shelby Harris at 235. TJ Carey was 219. Shelby Harris was 235th pick out of Illinois State. A defensive end that I heard about. Kind of like a steal, 7th, high priority type of guy, but he didn't fall all the way to the 7th round. I mean, he did fall to the 7th round. They did make him to a high priority draft pick, which I think he could have been there, but decided to take him with one of their last picks. And then they got Jonathan Dowling at the 247th overall pick out of Western Kentucky. Maybe it's not a huge school, and he's a big guy. I think he's like 6'3", well over 200 pounds. I think he was more of a fundamental guy, more of a maybe a rough, hit him up type of safety. Maybe he plays in the box, plays a little freelance, type of a safety. But I don't know what type of playing time he's seen with the Raiders. But definitely, I think he could have gone a little bit higher. But I guess on tape, he wouldn't look that great. I think I've seen just a little bit of highlights on him, if any, I was able to find. But then they really did some great damage in, big-time damage in free agency. They got halfback George Atkinson III out of Notre Dame, who kind of, declared because, he was going to see playtime in Notre Dame. They had a couple other running backs they liked over him, so he was going to be not that high on the depth chart, at least for his liking. 6-foot receiver, running back, not a bad choice. They need somebody behind Darren McFadden who's just not panning out of his offensive line or scheme issues or whatever, but when he's playing good, he gets into it. When he's not playing so great is when he's, coincidentally healthy. After that, they got Mike Davis, wide receiver out of Texas. A very interesting pick, a top rated wide receiver going into the 2013 college football season, but got injured early, I think, and kind of fell off everybody's radar. I'm not saying he was amazing, like, he was, Calvin Johnson or, somebody who, going in the year is going to be great and they ended great or whatever. Or if they got hurt, they're still going to be great, like, Antonio Cromartie, they're still going to be a solid player. I guess he really needed that last year to really show off, so he came out anyway. So he fell off the draft altogether. Then they got wide receiver Noel Grigsby out of San Jose State, a school that did some things and had a couple players that were eligible for the draft that looked like they might have get taken, but he was one of the few. But he was actually taking an undrafted free agency. Not a bad pick. I think he's like 5'11", more of a speedy type guy, not too imposing. But not a bad pick to pick a free agency, as they don't need somebody else to back up Denarius Moore. They don't have a lot of the receivers they let go, like Louis Murphy and Jacoby Ford, who weren't that great, but they need somebody to fill that role eventually at some point. Besides Denarius Moore, since they lost Zach Miller and things like that, they got Michael Rivera. And then they took tight end Jake Murphy out of Utah, which was a tight end I had looked through with all tight ends I was scanning and all that. There was about 8 to 10 that I think could have been taken. I think only 8 or 9 were, somewhere around there, maybe 10. But a couple I thought were pretty good that didn't get taken. Like Xavier Grimble, but I guess he wasn't that great. I don't think I was able to find tape on him, but the things I read was pretty encouraging. They decided to go with Jake Murphy out of Utah. Not a bad pick there, diversifying their picks going offense and defense, with a clear emphasis on the defensive backfield, with the secondary getting 2 cornerbacks, a safety. All in all, I think they had the best draft. If you take away the top 3 picks, they still had a decent draft, better than a lot of teams did this year, which I don't know how that happened with as deep as this draft was. I think Khalil Mack, Derek Carr, Gabe Jackson, right there, that gives you like an A- off top. Showing diversity of picks there, going defense, and then going offensive line, and then skill position or quarterback. All in all, I'll give them an A+. And stay tuned for any other further videos I have. I'm probably going to do one for the Atlanta Falcons, like a bonus video, just, kind of a Falcons fan. And then maybe another one, like, sort of like the top 3 steals of the 2014 NFL Draft.